Hey everyone, Camille here from 88 Fitness Training. Welcome back. Today we're going to continue on with our maximizing muscle activation series. We're going to talk about the triceps. Yes. So I'm going to go through the 5 common mistakes people make when trying to maximize tricep activation. So stay tuned. Everybody knows if you're trying to build big arms, you need to train triceps. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting the most out of your tricep exercises and maximizing muscle activation. So typically there are 5 common mistakes that people make that really limit the amount of activation. Number 1 is not going through the full range of motion for the exercise. Number 2 has to do with elbow flaring and the position of your elbows during the tricep exercises. Number 3 is not focusing on all 3 parts of the lift, especially the eccentric part, the lowering part. And then 4, using body swinging or momentum to complete the lift. And then lastly, neglecting the other muscles that may be contributing to the triceps during the lift. So I'm going to take you through all 5 of those while demonstrating the 3 most popular tricep exercises. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If you've been watching James and I for a while and our tricep workout series, you know the number 1 exercise for building mass on those triceps is going to be a compound exercise. We are going to keep hammering that to death. So what kind of best compound for triceps? Close grip bench. So you definitely want to watch out for those 5 common mistakes. So for starters, hand placement has a lot to do with tricep activation. So if we're targeting triceps, we don't want to be way out here like a traditional chest press, right? This is going to be majority chest. We want to bring those hands in so they're a lot closer, right? And then we can lift up. Now looking at number 2, elbow flare, we want to keep the elbows nice and tucked at the sides. We don't want to flare them out like this. So bring those elbows in close to the body and complete the lift. Those are probably the 2 biggest mistakes. Outside of that, full range of motion is another mistake. A lot of times when training chest in particular, people don't come all the way up. They're just doing something in here like this. This is like a partial range of motion. When you're training triceps, I can't stress it enough, you really want to lock out at the top, right? We want to make sure we're getting maximum contraction on that tricep, and the only way to do that is to ensure that we're locked out. We don't want to be down here. This is partial range of motion for the triceps. We want to be up here locked out. So make sure you're coming all the way down to your chest and punch up, lock out. So just like that. So just as a recap for close grip bench, we want to make sure we bring those hands in. We don't want too wide. This will recruit a lot more chest. We want to make sure our elbows are tucked at the sides, not flared like this. Again, this will recruit more chest. And then lastly, we want to make sure we lock out those arms. Don't leave any of that contraction on the table. Fully lock out and squeeze. So that covers the close grip bench. Again, this is the number 1 exercise if you're trying to build tricep mass. Definitely hit that compound. All right, y'all, so number 2, best exercise is going to be an overhead tricep extension. You know I like dropping my pulley height down a little bit so I can get maximum stretch on those triceps. So that really covers full range of motion. So let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and put this behind my back. So now I'm able to come fully down without bottoming out and get a full deep stretch on that tricep. And I can come all the way up, locking out those elbows, getting that deep contraction. So you're able to truly hit full range of motion, maximum stretch on that tricep. So this is a really effective exercise just like that. So some of the common mistakes, again, if you are doing it overhead like that, maybe you have this up a little higher. And so what happens is you end up bottoming out. So see how I can't get that deep stretch like down here? So I bottom out. So this just means I need to drop that carriage head down so I'm getting that full stretch. So just like this. All right, and you want to make sure you have a nice firm grip. So make a full fist and squeeze the entire time with the hands. You don't really want your hands in a weak position like this. You're not going to be able to move a whole lot of weight. So make that full fist around that rope and then pull it behind your head. All right, so this is exercise number 2. The third exercise I want to talk about are tricep push downs. I hope all of you have seen my overhead extension versus tricep push down video, but if not, definitely go find it because it's very enlightening. But on the tricep push downs, you really want to focus on full range of motion. So a lot of times what I see is the person brings the arms down, but then they stop just short of fully locking out and contracting that tricep, which reduces the amount of tricep activation. So you really want to come down and lock out those arms. If you're running into your body and can't straighten those arms all the way, bring your arms a little forward and then flex at the elbow. Now I'm in front of my body, I can reach full contraction. I'm not limited by my body back here. So again, that's number 1. Number 2 has to do with the wrist position. So as you come down, you want your knuckles facing down. At no point do you want your knuckles facing up because you're not fully contracted. You're not fully activating those tricep muscles. So make sure you bring those knuckles down and keep the hand in line with the forearm the entire time. And then on this one, especially this one, you really want to control the motion through the entire range of motion, right? So you're on a cable, it's providing constant tension. So you really just don't want to flop it up like this, right? You want to control it that entire time. So a couple seconds down, contract that tricep, and then really take your time, maybe 3 seconds on this eccentric part, just like this. All right, and then you definitely want to watch the body momentum and rocking, especially when you load up that weight. You see it all the time. People are doing this, right? Because they're having a hard time getting that weight down. So lighten that stack, y'all. We're here to blow up those sleeves, not blow up our joints, and take your time and apply all those techniques that we talked about. And then lastly, watch the elbow flare, right? You don't want to be out here like this, just like the close grip bench, even the overhead triceps. Pull those elbows back into your sides. Anytime you're flared, you're really just recruiting other muscles. I can actually feel that in my rear delts when I'm doing that. So keep those elbows tucked. So maximizing tricep activation has a lot to do with your ability to establish a strong mind-muscle connection. So before we close out our video, I just want to take you through a couple of things that you can do to help improve that. So to establish that strong mind-muscle connection, one tip that you can do is verbal cueing. So before you get into your lift, go ahead and say the name of the muscles that you're going to work. So for instance, you have the lateral, the long head, and the medial head of the tricep. So think about which one you're doing. On a tricep push down, it's primarily the long head. So we're going to think about this muscle back here and how it feels when it's contracted. The next tip would be mirror feedback. You've always wondered why gyms have a ton of mirrors. Well, it's to get that visual feedback. So go ahead and get into position, look in the mirror, and literally see what muscle is contracting. If you can't see that long head of the tricep is contracting, then you're probably doing something wrong. Go back and think through those 5 tips that I gave you. But mirror feedback's essential. It's not you being conceited or vain. It's that you're making sure that you're using proper form, and it's really important. So definitely utilize the mirror and look at yourself from different angles. That's why there are so many mirrors at the gym. And the last tip for establishing strong mind-muscle connection is tactical feedback. You're probably like, what does that mean, right? Well, that means go ahead and feel the muscles working while you're doing it. So as I come down, try to feel what is activated during the whole range of motion. If you can't feel those muscles working, then again, something's wrong. That means you have to try something different. So a lot of times if you switch it down to unilateral move and then use that tactical feedback to see what's moving, you'll figure out what's not happening or what's not going right. All right, y'all, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I went through the 5 common mistakes people make when trying to maximize tricep activation. And why is that important? Because we want to blow those sleeves off, y'all. Your triceps account for 2/3 of the size of your arms. So please don't make those 5 common mistakes. Definitely incorporate those 3 top lifts for triceps, and then definitely spend some time establishing that strong mind-muscle connection. So whether it's verbal feedback, visual, or even the tactical feedback, use one of those techniques to make sure you're maximizing that activation. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out our other videos in our tricep playlist. And as always, like and subscribe. Camille, 88 Fitness Training.